In 2016 now, and in a campaign full of hot-button issues, this one may be the most divisive. Jon Keller continues his special series on where the presidential candidates stand on these key issues, with a closer look tonight at the politics of gun control. And John, it really seems more bitter than ever.
Yeah, David, it certainly does. Guns have long been a polarizing topic in our politics, and decades of deadly gun violence haven't led to anything approaching consensus on what to do about it. And watching the candidates this year debate it, you can see how that polarization has put them under the gun.
Every time I think about those kids, it gets me mad.
When he proposed expanding gun buyer background checks earlier this year, the president's tears were met with cries of another sort from the Republican candidates.
We have to protect our Second Amendment.
I am convinced that if this president could confiscate every gun in America, he would.
Listen, in any Republican primary, everyone is going to say they support the Second Amendment, unless you are clinically insane.
And sure enough, Cruz has an A+ rating from the National Rifle Association, with Marco Rubio earning a B+. And while Donald Trump has no NRA grade, he says he's a lifetime NRA member and staunch gun control opponent.
This is not a plot to take away everybody's guns.
Is the resistance of the GOP hopefuls reasonable?
They should be looking at common sense restrictions.
WBZ security analyst Ed Davis is former commissioner of the Boston Police and an international consultant on policing issues.
I think that what the president proposed in the last couple of months is the most common sense regulation that I've seen out there.
The guns don't pull the trigger. It's the people that pull the trigger.
This should not be a political issue.
But gun control has become one of our most divisive political issues. And as WBZ's Joe Matthew notes, many Americans are voting with their wallets.
Last year, more guns were sold in this country than any year on record, and they're still going up.
And while Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton both back the president's gun control plans, their contest is not immune from the conflict.
He has voted with the NRA, with the gun lobby, numerous times. He voted against the Brady bill 5 times.
I think Secretary Clinton knows that what she says is very disingenuous. I have a D- voting record from the NRA.
And what are the chances that gun control compromise will ever make the grade in Washington?
Everybody on the right believes that the Democrats are trying to take the guns away from people, and everybody on the left thinks that everybody who owns a gun is crazy.
And when you're coming from that place, David, that raises the question, where do you go from here?
That's a great question, so let's try to answer it. Where do we go from here?
Well, look, we sat around a peace table in Paris and negotiated an end to the Vietnam War. We normalized relations with China. It can be done. Maybe a starting place is to take some of the people who get middling grades from the NRA, some pro, some con, have them identify other people of goodwill and try to find some common ground that would be a starting point to some kind of truce in this deadly war.
Yeah, it's so volatile right now, it's hard to even find that starting point.
And everyone is dug in deep.
Yeah. Jon Keller, thank you so much. Great series, by the way. Lisa.